just the other day we had one of the preschools come in for a field trip to learn capoeira. So it was like 32 kids, and we did.
Oh, no way! How old were these kids?
They had to be like they're 3, 4, 5 years old.
Oh, they must have loved it.
They loved it. They loved it.
They probably saw those instruments and just went crazy.
Yeah, they did some movements and stuff that I said. But yeah, I've been in the community for a long time, and there's not a person who doesn't know about capoeira that doesn't know me, So when I started capoeira, people followed me until this point, and I thank the community for helping me and putting me in touch with everybody. And to this day, I've changed myself. I'm American, but people think I'm Brazilian because I've embedded myself in this culture, and I love it so much. And I know that this will benefit people along the way, and especially where I grew up in Asbury, to know that where I came from is not where you need to stay. You don't have to have that same mindset that, like, I have to be into drugs, I have to be in a gang, I have to be into this. I've avoided all of that through the martial arts and through capoeira, being to give back to the community, to be able to tell these guys, you don't have to settle for what people say. You move to the next level because you have to, you want to be better in life, not just fit into the box that people expect you to be in.
Welcome, everyone, to the Whole Truth Podcast with John Levine, brought to you by Dean's Natural Food Market, with 4 locations in Ocean, Shrewsbury, Basking Ridge, and Chester, New Jersey. I am here. I am so pumped up because I have Kasey Sanders, mestrando estagiario baiano. I hope I got that right. Did I get that right, Kasey?
Yes, you did.
Okay, and he is the co-founder of Rising Sun Cultural and Wellness Center and the head instructor under Capoeira Sol Nascente USA.
Perfect.
Capoeira. We have capoeira in the house. We're going to get moving today with Kasey Sanders. And you threw a little wrench into me because you just changed your name. I was trying to get your name down, and you literally just changed your name like three weeks ago. So I'm like, okay, let me make sure I pronounce his name right. And then all of a sudden, I look on your website, and it's gone. It's a new name, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So wait, what was your old name, and why did you change it?
Well, my old name was Contramestre Baiano. In Capoeira, there's a sequence of graduations, and each graduation has a certain name. Like when you get to instructor, there's instructor. When you get to be after instructor, there's professor, which is a professor. Then you go into the next realms of subcontramestre, which is under the contramestre. And then you have contramestre, which is next to the master. So now I'm at the stage of mestrando. So if you think of it in the way of higher education, I have my master's degree, but now I'm going to do my dissertation for PhD.
Oh, okay. That's so cool.
Yeah, so mestrando estagiario. I'm at the master's stage right now. So I'm doing all the research and,
Mestrando is the master stage.
Yes.
Very cool. And contramestre was
the before master stage.
Okay, so
it was like your baccalaureate.
Yeah. So you just graduated.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Let me say congratulacja, which is Polish, and congratulations. But we're not going to get crazy. So I've been so psyched for this because this is a little bit different than what I normally do. This is the exercise portion, the movement portion of the Whole Truth Podcast. Nice. How did you? So you teach in Long Branch, New Jersey, capoeira.
Yes.
Well, let's first talk about what is capoeira so my audience understands.
So capoeira has a lot of definitions, but what I define capoeira is it's a martial art that was disguised in dance in order to hide from the slave masters at the time of the colonial slavery in Brazil, like in the 1500s.
Right.
It imitates dance to hide its effectiveness. It adds music to not only liberate the people spiritually, but mentally. as well as the community. They work on teaching this art without contact, so that they actually are learning the defense moves, but they don't use them against their partners, because at that time they wanted to train people to protect themselves, but the people you're training with, you didn't want to hurt them,
Right. So if I understand this correctly, 400 or 500 years ago, the slave masters did not know what was going on, essentially, because the disguise was that capoeira was a way of defending themselves, but I guess the slave masters thought that they were dancing and singing.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if you look at this, and I will put this up on video for people to see, it looks like dancing, but if you get hit with one of these kicks,
oh, you're going to sleep.
Oh, good night, baby.
These were designed to not just hurt people, but kill people. Yeah, these movements were designed in a certain way that if they were to contact you, or if they were, there's so many variations. There's headbutts, elbows, sweeps, takedowns, and things of that sort that people don't see. And these kicks go at a velocity of maybe 60, 70 miles an hour. And just imagine getting hit by a car as small as a foot.
Well, and you know what? You get hit in the right spot,
You're going
or the wrong spot.
Right.
It's night.
Yeah.
And that's just I think that's fascinating. And so that was the disguise.
Yes.
So
yes.
it was art, and is there some religion tied into that as well?
There, with the Bantus and the old, the African traditions, they had, they brought some of their traditions to Brazil, and that was another way to disguise their own religions. Is because of Catholicism, things of that sort. They would take the deities in, say, for example, one of the religions is Candomblé. They would take these symbols, say, for example, Oshun, Oshala, Imanja. They would take these and combine them with the Catholic saints. So, in an essence, they were believing, they were letting the slave masters or whoever believe that they were praying to their particular person, but they were praying to their particular.
That's just cool.
But capoeira itself has nothing to do with candomblé or any of the Yoruba traditions or religions.
Cool. Are you Brazilian?
I am not Brazilian.
Okay, so how did you? Where are you from? I think you're a Jersey boy. I think
I am from Jersey.
You're
I'm
a Jersey
from Asbury Park, born
Asbury
and
Park.
raised.
All right. So how did you get into capoeira and teaching capoeira?
It's a weird story. I tell a story like,
But it's your story.
Yeah,
and it's a great story.
Yeah. I've been doing martial arts since I was 7 years old, so I won't go to the history of my martial arts experience. But I've done about from A to Z in martial arts. I've always encompassed the culture, the language of any art that I've connected with. But for some reason, in like the early 90s, I found the art of capoeira. A friend of mine was competing one day, and a friend of mine who taught in New York, he was helping me train, and he started showing me these movements, and he said, "Well, this is Jinga," and I was like, "What is that?" But he's showing you all these different music. It's so tied to African, one of the African martial arts. It looked a lot like dance, So he had me doing some training before a competition, and I felt like relaxed. I felt different. I felt like, wow, I can move on both sides. And so I started using this. And, I started getting better in competitions and fighting and things of that sort. So then in like the later 90s, after doing some more research, I found an academy in Newark. It was the first academy of capoeira. So I took my first classes with a master called Mestre Cigano, which he showed me some of the basics about capoeira. You know? And once I learned from that, I was hooked. Then I decided, since Newark was a hike for me, I decided to try to see if I can pull some interest in my area. I was already teaching at academy because I have a couple of black belts in martial arts, and I was teaching at an academy. So I said, let me try something new. you know. So I started inviting some people, a lot of Brazilians. I didn't know any Portuguese at all, and so these guys would come in and they speak very, very little English, and yeah, you know, we practice these movements and stuff, and I just got hooked to it. One day, one of the guys that was training with us, he said he had a uncle or cousin, actually a cousin that who was a teacher in capoeira. So he happened to come in, some young guy who was he worked with wood and things of that sort. He came into the door and he introduced himself, and I didn't understand what he was saying. I knew some Spanish back then, but I started talking to him and he didn't understand me, you know. So his friend, his cousin had to translate for him, and we were just trying to get back. And I said, I want you to teach. You know, I'd like for you to teach. So, you know, we got into that point. He started teaching me. This guy was named João Martins Leite, which is a contramestre in capoeira. He actually was part of the group that I'm associated with now.
He wasn't a master.
He was not.
Now I know what that means.
Yeah. He was close.
He wasn't what you are now, which
Right.
is a mestrando.
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 Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a contramestre was, what was that again? That was
It was next to the master.
it was next to the master. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
but he's trained for, you know, whatever amount of years. He's trained since he was young. But, you know, we just started communicating.
I'm just trying to prop you up a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah.
But keep calling you mestrande. By saying you're the master. And you're a local guy teaching capoeira, which I think is fascinating. So I'm just trying to give you plugs here as we go.
Thanks.
You got it.
No, but it was great. He taught me everything I needed to know about capoeira, and we became like best friends. He would take me to places. He would take me to his house. He'd like, you know, he would introduce me and say, hey, you know, he's learning capoeira. And when I first started learning capoeira itself, there was another guy who was training with us, and he was like, you know, he looks like a baiano. He looks like a guy from Brazil, you know.
Oh yeah,
And
what
it
is
was-
baiano?
Baiano is a person from Bahia, which is Salvador, the capital of, well, it used to be the capital of Brazil.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's a baiano.
yeah, Baiano, guy from Bahia.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
he said,
Okay.
"Oh, he looks like a Baiano." He's like, "Oh, we should name you Baiano." You know, it's like, he's like, "Oh," he said, "Yes, I like that name." So they just started calling me Baiano from there, you know. And everybody assumed that I was Brazilian because I was hanging around Brazilians and things of that sort. And
Right.
they would introduce me and say, "Oh, this is Baiano." Boom! These guys start talking to me. Start talking in Portuguese, and I
And
was
they
like,
took you in, and there's
yeah, I was just like, wow, I don't understand what you guys are saying. And they were just like making jokes and stuff. And I was like, So then we used to go to lunch. I would take them to lunch. We'd go out together. And we'd sit down at his table. And this is how I learned Portuguese. He taught me how to order one thing on the menu. So, picanha. I was ordering all the time. It was like beef at the time when I was a meat eater. So every time I would go to the restaurant, I would order just picanha. And I was like,
picanha.
Yeah, and I was
Okay.
like, after a while, I was like, I want to order something else. I don't like picanha anymore.
It's a lot of beef to eat.
Yeah. So yeah, he would exchange Portuguese with me, and I would teach him English. So we had this whole connection, and you know, I just
your own
became
little
part
barter,
of
your own little barter system.
Yeah. So we would just hang together, and eventually we had just basically become brothers. You know,
Cool.
And he taught me everything I could possibly know about capoeira, but unfortunately he had to leave. He wanted to go back to Brazil because his mother wasn't feeling well and things of that sort. But he decided he wanted to graduate me, and he made me promise that I would continue teaching capoeira. You know, to keep the community going. You know, it's something new that's going to be to the area.
So cool.
You know, just please keep the torch going. So
Yeah.
I decided to do that. You know.
I love it. That's so cool. You see, when you have an open mind and you don't know something, you know, you wait. So essentially, you just fell in love with martial arts. You've done a lot of martial arts, and then just like anyone, when you don't know something, you know, if you don't try it, you'll never know.
Right.
Tried capoeira, fell in love specifically with capoeira more so than maybe the other martial arts.
Yes.
And it's just become what you're doing.
Yes.
what
It
you're
became
teaching.
who I am. It became who I am.
That's so
you
cool.
know.
I love stories like that. And you teach in Long Branch. So how do you train? I did watch some of these videos. And so is it primarily, it looks like a lot of kicks. a lot of spinning wheels, a lot of like very fast, dynamic speed movements. Am I accurate when I'm saying that? And how do you train for this stuff?
There were two types. There's actually three types of capoeira, but the two that I practice is Angola, which is a more traditional style, but it's more tricky, and you're using a lot of malicia or trickery in the art itself. So you're moving. It could be slow, it could be fast, but it's very like tricky. You know, I could say like sly, slick. You know,
like
so,
you're trying to move between like little ropes or something. Like
when you're playing with
like
somebody,
a snake, like you're moving like a snake or something.
Yeah, more or less. When you're playing with someone, it's more of a game of like tag, like catch can, and a lot of things can happen. You're trying to sweep the person. You're trying to take them off guard,
and you can't. But you're not touching each other.
This particular art, you could. You know, there can be some slickness in it. You know, if you know, I've seen people get hit. You know, I've hit people. I've gotten hit myself. You know, it's just being aware. It's that that malice that people are not, you know, not used to. You know?
Right.
So you're playing with this person, and they're moving around, and all of a sudden you get swept off your feet, and you're like, you know, and then you have all these different gestures and things of that sort, headbutts and elbows, and you know, all sneaky stuff that you have to be prepared for. You're keeping yourself like all like on guard all the time. You know?
Which is where it comes from.
Right.
It originates from being disguise, a disguise, and that's what I think is very neat. And a lot of people are a little confused sometimes. A lot of people who are into martial arts do understand, but martial arts is not about just beating the heck out of each other when you're training. I've done a little bit of jiu-jitsu. I've done a little bit of boxing. I've done a little bit of Muay Thai. Muay Thai is, I mean, that you can really get chopped down with Muay Thai, but there's a lot of. But the whole idea, obviously, with any martial art, when you're training, is not to beat the heck out of each other because no one's going to be left, right? I mean,
exactly.
If we keep kicking each other in the head, you're not going to have anyone to teach,
right.
But this is so cool because I think that I didn't even know about capoeira. I've heard about capoeira, but I didn't know that there was anyone local that was teaching it. And for those listening, there could be capoeira anywhere, so look it up. But this is like such a cool way of actually, like, because there's some people who don't like to go to the gym. Like, let's say it's cold out, and they kind of like dread working out. It's not me. I like working out, but everyone's different. This is like sounds like a perfect way to check this out and be like, I'm gonna get to dance, I'm gonna get to listen to music, and I'm gonna get to sweat and exercise and learn a beautiful martial art at the same time. I mean, that's healthy stuff right there.
That's great. I teach the essence of the martial arts. Since I'm a martial artist and people want defense, especially women, children, men as well, I teach the parts of the martial art that are used for defense. But we also do a lot of we work on, I like people see capoeira and especially the fast type of capoeira, they see all these movements and stretching and all these acrobatics, and they say, I can never do that. It's like, it's not about never doing it. It's like every bird that has wings doesn't have to fly. They don't fly, you know, but they're all part of this ecosystem of art, you know.
We have to connect after this because you have me so inspired that I want to do this. We're going to do this. We have in the studio today. Awesome. We have space for this. But you have my word that I will come to one of your classes.
Thank you.
And I want to be taught. I want to check this out. If you don't try, you'll never know.
Right.
And just like you didn't know about it, and you fell in love with it.
No, yeah.
So that's what I'm doing here. I'm bringing things to the table that will improve people's health. You know, the whole HOL truth encompasses everything.
Right.
And that's martial arts, and that's physical health and physical movement, and that's why you're here. And we talked on the phone, and I loved what you had to say. Good energies.
Great, thanks.
You seem like such a nice guy. So without further ado, you need to show me. I'm visual.
Okay. Yeah, I'm visual too.
I'm a little hyperactive, so like I'm actually trying to get out of my seat because I want to see. So let's show me, like, if I come to your academy and I am new, and let's say I'm a mom and I just need to kind of like move around and get moving and enjoy this. Show me what you would do.
Okay, definitely.
So let's do it.
Yes.
let's not take any tables down or like anything.
No,
crazy,
no,
but-
no, no. We'll use the space
And don't
that we
kick,
have.
don't kick me in the head.
No, I like you.
No, no, thank you. So, all right. So I come into your school, and I don't know anything about capoeira. Where? How do we start? What do you teach me?
Start out first. We usually stretch a little bit, but you want to stretch? We can stretch.
Okay, just stretch.
So just squat. I mean, I just do usually a regular squat like this and keep my heels down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a lot of kicks, a lot of movement. So
Yeah.
we don't want to hurt ourselves.
Yeah,
Obviously.
flexibility. You know, is very important.
Is there certain stretches? This is.
That's where you get a lot of latissimus dorsi. You know, using your quads.
Okay.
Stretching those things out, touching your toes. You can do the opposite side. Yeah.
So stretching is important, obviously.
Yes,
You don't want to hurt yourself.
No, you don't.
Okay, you hurt yourself, then you're out of commission, then you're not going to capoeira.
Training.
So make sure you stretch. I like it. I'm always a fan of stretching.
Yeah, everybody has their own style of stretching.
Right.
Sometimes I do lead stretches. Certain stretches don't work for certain people, but I try to modify everything. You know, what depends on the person. I try to modify it. You know.
Okay. Well, listen, that makes sense. That's what you have to do first. You know, if you're injured, you're not there.
Yeah.
The best ability is availability.
Yes.
Right. So now show me some moves.
All right,
We're
so-
gonna jump ahead a little bit. Like show me some like certain moves.
So the most important move is Jinga. Jinga itself is the stance. If you've done
Okay.
martial arts before, there's various stances. There's fourth stance, there's front stance,
Right.
7-star stance, all these things.
Okay.
Capoeira has this movement called Jinga.
Jinga.
So you're coming from a parallel base.
Okay.
You're stepping back with one leg.
Okay. Stepping back.
Yes. And then coming back.
And then coming back.
And then using the opposite leg.
And then opposite leg.
So you're learning how to be ambidextrous in stance
Okay.
and also fluid in movement. So you just try to relax. as
Are you
much
on
as
your
can.
toe? Are you on your toes?
So I come on the back of my, I don't put my heel down. So I
Okay.
keep on the ball of my feet.
So keep on the ball of your feet.
Right.
Like an athletic stance.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
You're on the ball of your foot. You're not available to
Right.
really do much.
Yeah, to be solid.
So-
here, so you back and forth. So nice and relaxed.
Are your arms? So your arms are loose.
So your arms would actually sweep. This is what you use to counterbalance. So Jinga itself, if you notice this leg here, this arm is going to be up. Okay?
Okay.
So then I switch. It's going to be the opposite way.
So if my right foot's back, my right arm is up.
Correct.
Okay. So
And then
now
you switch.
left foot back,
Right.
left arm up,
Right.
and loose.
Yeah. So you want to kind of have almost a forward base.
And I feel good because I'm actually moving. I'm swinging
Yes.
my body.
Yeah. So that is your Jinga.
So this is Jinga.
Jinga.
How do you spell Jinga?
G-I-N-G-A.
So it's G-I, not Jenga.
Not
Isn't
Jinga
that-
like
isn't
the
that- that's
game.
like a board
Yeah.
game. We're not doing Jenga. We're doing Jinga.
Yeah, Jinga. So another important thing is keeping your hands up. Okay?
To block your
because
face?
it is a martial art, you want to not sleep on that. You know, you want to just have your hands just hanging in some of the malicious capoeira, or they usually do things we call manjinga, moving the hands around, you know, taking someone off guard. But Jinga is kind of like loose.
Yeah, feels good.
Right.
Loosens you up.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. So that's the Jinga.
That's the foundation. That's
Okay.
The foundation. Okay. And then you have other movements that are similar in other martial arts. You have what they call meia lua de frente, like an inside.
You gotta say that one more time.
Meia lua de frente.
Differenti.
Meia lua de frente. So it's
Okay.
a half moon in the front.
A half moon.
Meia lua means half moon.
Half moon. Can I see the half moon?
Okay. So
Not your.
Huh?
I'm not telling you to.
No,
I don't want.
you don't
Not
see
that
full
moon.
Yeah.
I want to
So-
see. I want to see
so
the other moon.
if you do, if I'm in Jinga, I come to parallel position, and this case,
Oh.
meia lua de frente. So it's the front, the moon in the front.
Cool. Let me see that one more time.
So I'm Jinga.
So the Jinga, side Jinga, and then whoop, there it comes.
Right.
So, but that's cool because that's dancing, right? So the whole idea is it looks like I'm kind of dancing, I'm having a good old time, and then the next thing you know, wahoo!
Yes.
There's a kick and
Yes.
good night, Irene. Right?
Right.
So I just think that's so cool because it does look like dancing.
It has a very similar feel to dance.
So you can sing, you can dance, you can listen to music, you can stretch, you can move your body, you can learn how to kick. exercise does not have to be painful.
Right.
It can be painful if you want.
There's people that have done this for the first time that did in great shape and everything, and the next day they're sore.
Right.
You know, and they wonder why they're sore, because you're using every muscle of your body when you're doing this. It's all these movements, all these things you're not used to doing. If you're in the gym, you're doing this or whatever. You're running, you're using a certain type of, muscle.
Well, that's also important because you know what? Your body gets used to things. So if you play basketball all the time, I play basketball. My body's kind of used to it, you know, and so I don't really get sore much, a little bit. Lifting weights, running. But I played flag football a couple weeks back. I haven't played flag football in a long time. Oh my God, I was so sore.
Yeah.
You know, and that's actually good because you got to throw a wrench into your body a little bit. So that's another positive. Doing something a little bit different, get your body to struggle a little bit and
using different muscles.
Yeah, different muscles.
Yeah. There's so many different muscles using and cartwheels and things of that sort. And that's one of the things that people they're surprised about. You know, even if they haven't done cartwheels since they were children.
Yeah.
I teach anybody how to do cartwheels, no matter how old you are, the size you are, the age, your weight. I can teach anybody to do a cartwheel, and that is.
Is this a cartwheel with a kick?
No, just a regular cartwheel.
Just a regular cartwheel.
Yeah. This has proven to be the fountain of youth for people that have doubted what we do.
A cartwheel?
Just a cartwheel. I've done lectures on just cartwheels itself.
Now, what is it about a cartwheel that's the fountain of youth?
Because it's something that you're not used to. If you've done it as a child and you put it into your mind that, oh, you know, I'm old, I can't do it. You know, when you learn the basis of it, when you go back to that point of recognition of youth, it brings them back to a certain point in their lives that they were at. So when I teach a person how to do a cartwheel, it opens up a whole different.
So that's cool. So it's mental. So it's like when they were stress free as a kid, playing in the prairie.
Psychologically, it brings them back to that point of where they're happy. And I've seen a lot of people, no matter what size, age, whatever, do a cartwheel and then just lighten up.
Really?
Like, wow.
Well, I got to do a cartwheel now. I haven't done one. I don't want to take that. Well, you got to watch out.
We start really basic.
Well, let me see what I can do because I like a challenge. I'm going to do a cartwheel.
Okay.
I feel pretty good in general because I will be honest with you. I don't have any favorites. Every guest that comes on my show, I pick and choose, carefully. So I'm always pumped up. I was really pumped up to do this morning. But now I want to get extra pumped up and get back to my childhood. Okay. But I'm pretty much a child. I'm 44. I'm a child. I'm the biggest child you ever seen in your life. So I'm going to do a cartwheel.
Right. So you want to try to save space in cartwheeling. And
you go first.
I'll do the first one. So I do it in a small way. Instead of like the open gymnastics cartwheel.
Okay.
You want to try to save space. So the squat position, you learn squat, balancing on one side, pushing yourself over, and balancing to the opposite side.
But you know what's great? You can see that is a cartwheel. But if you get kicked with one of those, that's lethal.
It's putting your body weight, it's throwing your mass into something else, an object that's not in motion.
I keep going back to the history of capoeira and where it started, and that's what I think is just so damn cool, because now that I'm looking at it, it looks like we're just dancing and having a good old time, which we are. But you get kicked with that, and you get kicked in the temple.
Just get pushed down on whatever it has to happen.
No, I have to go squat down.
Squat.
And then, alright, and then...
Right.
Oh,
so the idea is controlling your weight, control your balance. When you have some good control of your body, then it's easier for you to do cartwheels. Then if you want to do the faster ones, you can.
Right.
A lot of people start and they just go, ah! And they slam themselves on the ground and say, and they get mad and they run away because they think, well, this is not for me. It's like, you gotta take your time. Like walking up the stairs. Yeah. Everybody's not designed to run up the stairs, You gotta take one step at a time. Right?
Get the movement down, get the fundamental down, and then you could always go a little faster.
Yes.
Once you
learning about your body mass, learning about your control of your body is the most important thing.
And this is good for core too. I feel
it's excellent.
As I'm squatting down, getting ready to do this, I feel it in my core.
Yes.
So if I get it down right, it's funny because I want to go fast.
So the most control that you have is going to be better for you. Right. Always breathe.
That's cool. So we have music too. So what do we have here? Let's tell me what these instruments are.
Okay, so what I have here, are.
I think I just pulled my groin. Oh, I'm just kidding with you.
Three of our main instruments in capoeira. This is everybody's familiar with. It's a conga, but the traditional instrument is called an atabaque, okay, which is made out of wood and usually has like an enam skin.
How do you pronounce that again?
Atabaque.
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 So this is an atabaque.
This is actually a tambor or a conga.
Okay.
You know, so it has it doesn't.
And this is the atabaque?
This would be just, you know, this particular drum is a tambor or
Okay.
you know, or a conga as people see it. But the atabaque is made out of it's traditionally made. It's like pieces of wood put together, and you know, it's like you would see it looks like a tree trunk. You know, like it's pieces cut together.
I gotta get it. Is this plastic free? Because if it has to be.
This is
we're conserving the earth here.
This is a synthetic head.
Okay.
You know, which
I might let that go.
yes.
And I won't tell Gabriela Gutierrez, who happens to be your girlfriend, who has the plastic-free challenge, that you have a plastic tambor and.
Well, she's played this before.
Yeah, it's all good. Some
all
things
good.
have to be plastic, but we're gonna do our best. All right, we're gonna do our best.
The sound of a conga, I'll just do a little beat for you, simple beat. So with that, he's doing conga. So, yeah,
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. So then we have another instrument, which when people see this for the first time, they say it's a tambourine. Well, no.
It looks like a tambourine.
It looks like a tambourine, but the difference, there's a tambourine, okay, and in Brazilian music, there's a tambourine, which is a smaller type of instrument. Kind of looks like this.
Do you have kids, by the way?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Do they have kids? Do they have this in the house? I was just gonna make a joke.
No.
You don't let this in your house, do you?
I'll let them play.
Oh,
When they're
really?
with me, yeah, they'll play. Yeah, they know how to play. They're very good with instruments. You know,
All right.
very good. But this is called a pandeiro. Pandeiro. The difference between a pandeiro and a tambourine is that you can tune this. You know?
Ah.
Yeah.
So you can
So
tune
is
this.
tunable.
Cool. All right.
You'll see this a lot in like samba and some other type of musics like frevo and you know, a lot of different cultural music you'll see this in.
I have to do my jingle too.
So usually that particular beat is for samba, but so this would be for capoeira.
I love it.
Yes. So the most important.
It's very
instrument-
upbeat, positive
Yes.
music.
Music has a spiritual connection in everybody's life. You know, no matter what your beliefs are or whatever, when you hear music, it is universal. It doesn't matter if it's sang, if it's played, if it's community. You know, that
Yeah.
music makes. You know, it. What do they say?
It really is
calms the
universal.
yeah.
It really is.
It calms the saddest beast in all
Yeah.
of us. You know. So this is the one instrument I love. I make these as well.
Oh, you make these?
Yes. This particular design is not mine, but it's basically a piece of wood, a string from a tire.
Brazilian colors, right? Or does it just happen to be that?
Yeah, this is just Jamaican type
Just
colors,
random, gotcha.
whatever. Red.
Oh, Jamaican colors, yeah.
Yeah. So just coloring. And this cabasa, which is made from a gourd.
So this is not a bow and arrow.
No, it's not a bow and arrow.
Are you sure?
Probably derived from the bow and
You're
arrow.
not.
But this
You're
is
not
the great-
hunting. You're not hunting deer in New Jersey
No,
right now.
no. I'm vegan.
You're vegan.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
So now we know.
This this is the great grandfather of the guitar, of the marimba type instruments. So the way it sounds, I'll do something a little bit.
This is so. Look at this thing.
Maybe I'll sing.
For those listening, you got to check this out. This is some of the coolest instruments I've ever seen.
Maybe I'll sing a little. Do you mind?
No, sing.
All right.
Do you when you teach? Is this music going on? Do you play the music?
We play the music and we play live as well.
And you play live as well.
So we have my students that know all the instruments. They support us, and we do choruses and sing as well. All in Brazilian Portuguese.
So if I have the option of actually learning the movements and listening to the music
It's
and
not
having
an
people.
option. To learn these instruments is not an option.
It's not an option?
Yeah, you'll. It's like walking in a house. You know, it's like you'll play
Oh.
drums. You'll play all these things. We'll teach you how to do it.
It's
of
part of
course.
the. It's
Yeah,
part of the.
part of the culture.
It's part of
the
it.
drum.
So
Yes.
you can't come in here
and just say, I just want to work out. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected. I mean, I believe if I'm going to teach an art that's culturally sound, that I want to teach every aspect of it, not just give a piece. You know, I want to give you the whole meal, not just
I just learned
Just what
something.
you like.
That's worth saying again.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool because I didn't realize that.
Mhm.
I thought maybe because I'm trying to picture it because I've never done it.
Mhm.
I thought maybe you go in, you do an hour class, and then maybe you're playing a little bit of the music.
Mhm.
What you're saying is no. You're saying you're learning the movements, but then you're stopping, and then you're actually learning to play these instruments.
Yes.
And does everyone sing together?
Everyone sings together.
And everyone sings together.
I teach everybody Brazilian Portuguese. We learn basics, and they sing in the traditional language.
So cool.
Yeah.
All right, can you teach me how to do
Yes.
this?
Oh, the berimbau?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, what do you think?
Are you musician?
You're the boss. You're the boss.
No.
You're the masturante. You're the masturante. So you tell me. I mean,
So I can show you. I can I'll play a little bit. I'll sing a little bit, and then I'll give it to you.
Okay.
And then so we can do.
yes,
So.
yes.
Quero que seja uma brincadeira. Quero que seja uma coisa manhosa. Quer dizer uma luta de vida. E africano cria toda crioulo. Capoeira. O que me chamou eu vou jogar. Capoeira. Limba o papel, eu vou parar.
That's beautiful. You got a great voice too.
Thank you.
Let's clap it up. Hey, all right. We got Christian. Christian's the QB engineer. He's
Yay.
clap it up again. That was really good. That was awesome.
Here.
Let me see. Let me try. That's not.
Yes.
I am not going to be nearly as good as you.
I'm not gonna lie. I love how you described it as the prehistoric guitar, like the great grandfather to it, or the
Yes.
great great grand. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is cool. You
That's-
set the bar very, very high, and I'm going to take it
Yeah.
down very, very low.
So here, what you're gonna do first is you're gonna put your pinky on here. It's not that complicated.
Put the
but
pinky on.
Put the pinky on here. Your pinky's gonna balance that.
Okay.
Now take the stone, put it in your fingers.
Okay.
It's just the top parts of your fingers. Now these parts of your fingers are going to stretch and hold on.
Oh,
to
I'm hitting the
this.
top of the ceiling here.
So
So
I'll
this.
show you really quick, and then you can imitate it. So
Okay.
here, you stretch, and this is where the stone is going to be. Put the stone in your fingers here.
Okay. So you're pulling up with your pinky finger,
Yes, you're holding onto it, and this part balances.
and you're okay. So my palm is on the ball.
So let's see what-
Okay. So right here, like this, palm there, and then this. My right hand goes where though?
Your right hand is going to hold this.
My right hand
Yeah.
is going to hold this.
These instruments. So here,
Okay.
and the noose is going to go on your fingers, so that's going to let go.
Okay.
Right, so that'll be something separate. So here, you're holding onto this.
Oh wow! So my right hand is not even holding this
yeah,
instrument.
Yeah. So you take these two fingers and place it on the wood here.
On the
Alright, so
wood here?
Yeah. And then this hand is going to go right in front of you. So now, if I let that go, you got to balance this whole thing.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So my left hand, my right hand doesn't even touch. Only
No,
when
you
it
use
starts.
that. Yes. Yeah. You use that to strike.
So
Not bad. Not bad.
So with the capoeira, where we just talked about it, where is it going? When you say where is it going, meaning like what does that mean? Like getting more popular? Is it changing?
Capoeira itself, fortunately and unfortunately, has changed in so many different ways. My master is Mestre Romeo, which he's he is the founder of my Capoeira Sol
And
Nascente.
you said there was 3 different kinds of capoeira.
Yes. So we actually do. We're known for regional, RE.
Regional.
Like region.
Gotcha.
Regional.
Regional.
Yeah, regional.
Regional.
And then we have Angola, which is the first capoeira. Angola. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was named out of respect for the Angolan people.
So you teach
African.
those two.
I teach those
And
two.
what's the third one?
Contemporâneo.
Okay.
Contemporâneo is a mix between the two.
Okay, so that's fusion.
Contemporary capoeira.
That's like American. That's like American fusion food. Like when you go to a restaurant,
Yes.
that's like it's American fusion. It's like what exactly? Wait, what
That's
exactly
a whole
are you?
nother podcast.
Yeah, what exactly are you
Yeah.
giving me?
That's a whole nother podcast
It's
about
fusion.
being a
Yeah.
a chef and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole nother-
the American food. Yeah.
Okay, so Angola and what was the first one again?
Angola, regional.
Okay, here's your now. Why is it changing though? What is it changing in a good way, a bad way?
Well,
just a different way?
I've seen from my years of capoeira, over 20 years of capoeira, I've seen it at its building time, at its peak, and now as its, I don't want to say its demise, but it's been used in so many different things. It's being, I would say, watered down. The tradition is being lost, the culture is being lost, and it's separating. It becomes more of like appearance of breakdance. It's the appearance of because people ask me all the time, and I don't want to be upset at them. They ask me, "Oh, do you still do your dancing?" It's like I've fought for years against cultural differences, languages. People wanted to come to my academy just to fight me, to see if they can test me in capoeira,
like an actual fight.
Yes, and I'm up for the challenge, but it's like it's like, why do I have to go through all of that just to do something that I love? So many challenges I've gone through just to teach this art itself, and to come to this point.
But this is other people in capoeira trying to challenge you?
Other people in other martial arts,
Other martial arts.
or not even just other martial arts, just other people that want to look for oppression, look for a way to either bully you or to say that something you're doing is not worth crap.
Yeah. Well, I think some people are. I respect what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I also think that like I've done a little bit of the jiu-jitsu and the boxing and the Muay Thai, and I think that people are so competitive.
Yes.
And I think if like you're so into Muay Thai,
yes,
it's like no, Muay Thai is the way to go.
Yes.
And it becomes like, well, I want to test my Muay Thai. And listen, that's what kind of like UFC, like MMA. Let's test boxing versus wrestling. No, I'm a wrestler. Like I didn't wrestle, but let's say you were a wrestler. Wrestlers are like, I'm a wrestler. Wrestling is the best.
Right.
Let's test wrestling versus boxing versus kickboxing versus
but
karate.
people, they lose that because it becomes an ego thing.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the martial art, and I fight that to the end of my life. It has nothing to do with the martial art or what art it is. It's
Right.
not the representation of the art. It's the person, it's the athlete who's in there. If I'm faster than you,
I don't want to get you angry. Do you want to do some Jenga just to calm down?
Yeah. I'm gonna always have an advantage if I know about my body, if I know about my limits and my what I can actually do. Then that's where you show the prowess in who you are. You can't carry that cape of capoeira on. I mean, there's people that can probably beat me quickly. There's people that I can probably beat. But it's not about the challenge. It's about the community. It's how do we connect? How does all of these things work together? If you know the 3 laws of Newton, all of these things combine to everything that we live in life. We live in life. Newton's laws. Yeah.
Movement. You
Yes.
have
So anything in motion stays in motion. Anything at rest stays at rest. Until something acts upon it or moves it. Right.
Right.
Then you have the force equals mass times acceleration.
it's like trying to get me out of bed.
Right. Right. Or velocity, or whatever you want to call it. And then every action has an equal or opposite reaction. All of these 3 theories fit into the physiology of a person. It fits into the social part of a person. It fits into the connectivity that we're looking at. And if people don't know that, they come with half of themselves. They don't understand what their potential is. So they take something and they say, I'm going to do this and I could do it better than you. But it doesn't take it doesn't take a brick for you to trip over. You can trip over a stone. You can trip over your own self. You can trip over anything because your body is in motion and not expecting something to happen. that's going to, unbalance you. So a lot of people don't think about that. And the people that I've talked to, they don't have a good balance in themselves, food-wise, health-wise, exercise-wise, sleep-wise, and what they intake, what they put into their body. It has to do with intake here as well as intake here. What are you going to get out of it? With Capoeira itself, I'm praying that people will understand that it has not only a cultural connection, but it also has not just a spiritual connection, but it has a physical means to help you be better, health-wise, mental-wise, connection-wise, and the things that we're missing. We're missing the community. We're missing all these things. These people who were brought over from Africa, who were put in slavery, they found a sense of community because they had a common goal. They needed to leave this abuse, treated like animals. How would you want to? You don't want to be treated like animals, but how do you what's the way you can get out? How do you get out? You become a community. You become strong with each other. You help each other, no matter what your background is, where you're from, what tribe you're from. We all look for that connection, and I think that's where we miss it. We miss that that energetic connection with people. And I like to talk to you because you feel like you kind of hype me up. It makes me feel like there is a chance for peace. It's a chance for connection. It's a chance for people to understand, no matter what culture you're from, no matter what race, no matter what language you speak, we can all connect in some way. And I think Capoeira can be that connection.
I know it can, because we have the right guy teaching it. Because what you just said speaks volumes. That was passion. All I did was ask a question, and you went on, baby. And I just let you go. But I just want my listeners to understand. But did you hear the passion behind that man's voice?
Sheesh.
He. This is what he's supposed to be doing, teaching capoeira, and we're like-minded. I love it. I'm pretty competitive, but you're right. I don't think it's about just going in and trying to beat everyone's ass.
Yeah.
There's some story behind it, and it's mind, body, and soul, and
yes.
And I just love the C word, community.
Yes.
And bringing people together, not stripping them apart.
Right.
It's not about
right.
my art is better than this art. Right. I think if I'm saying this correctly,
it's the compound word of common unity.
Common unity. Common unity. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing good things. And that's what, we got to get it out there and get more people doing capoeira.
Thank you. You looked good out there, man. Yeah.
I'm trying.
Played the instrument for the first time.
It's fun.
Not
you know
bad.
what? It's I've never played the instrument before. I've never seen those instruments before. I did see that, I always have to do some research and talk about what I'm talking to. It didn't come out the right way, but to me, you have to have an open mind. You don't have to have an open mind, but I like to have an open mind.
Everyone should have an open mind.
Yeah, why not try capoeira? I didn't know if I was going to like it. I do like it. I think it's really cool. But there's only one way to find out. Like, if I don't like it, I don't like it. Then I don't have to do it. I teach my kids that, too. I'm like, you know what? Try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And there's plenty of things you don't like. But, I think that this is, it encompasses everything.
Yes.
Mind, body, soul, and this is the type of stuff that, this is the one thing I learned today. I thought I have a pretty good handle on what capoeira is. I looked up the history. I kind of knew some of it before that, but I did not know, and the coolest thing is I did not know that when you go into your class that you don't have a choice. You actually have to play the instruments. You have to sing. You can't just do the jinga.
Right.
You can't just try to do cartwheels. Which I'm going to try at home, by the way. I'm going to be doing cartwheels all over the place. But that's beautiful because now you're combining everything. And you're respecting where this came from, right?
Right.
Am I saying that correctly?
Yes. Like, people ask me, do you sing in English? I say, no, why would I sing in English? It's a Brazilian martial art. You know? Why not learn that? And that comes back to when I learned other martial arts. When I learned Wing Chun Kung Fu, I was learning about Chinese and the culture and things like that. When I did Muay Thai, the same thing. I looked for certain things. Really what got me into the Brazilian culture was when I was doing capoeira plus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, when I was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, now I have something else, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah. Even like Taekwondo, I was learning Korean and things of that sort. You know, Japanese, you know, karate, learning Japanese, learning things that will be part of the culture and be embedded in me, not just throwing a couple of kicks and punches and thinking, hey, I got a great workout. I got a great mental workout by learning about the culture, you know, physical workout and
thinking about it, learning about it.
Yeah, connection to the people, you know.
And I guess, I mean, if you're going to sing in English, I mean, to each his own, but if you're going to sing in English capoeira, it's not capoeira anymore.
No.
It's just not capoeira. Capoeira is Brazilian. There's certain instruments that are used that are, you know, from, you know, hundreds of years ago, and there's certain movements that were used hundreds of years ago.
Yes.
I guess the point is, if you change those, you can modify it and call it something else.
Yeah.
You can
They
call fusion.
Yeah.
We won't get into that. I have a feeling
Yeah.
I might hit a real nerve
See.
if you try to, you know, infuse it or take some pieces out of it and change it. But that's what it is, right?
Yeah. So my mestre says a good thing. He says, às vezes a gente estraga a capoeira. So
Can you say that in English?
Yes. So
I'm
when
just kidding
people,
with you.
if you're not careful, you see, people can spoil what we've actually built. You know, estragar, and like to really like spoil what we've worked so hard to get to. When they start talking about, oh, you're just doing dance, or this not effective, and you know, or you know, oh, you can't do these certain movements, or you're doing movements within breakdance and saying, oh, you know, yeah, you're just breakdancing. You know, it spoils it. If we don't show them the culture, the tradition, and what it actually is, then we lose it too. When we go mainstream and say, hey, you know, let's get 1,000 students in and call it, you know, cup of soup or something like that, then you spoiled it itself. You know, if you're not sticking to the tradition and knowing exactly how to teach this art, then these people who are out here doing these head spins and back bends and stuff and have no cultural background or connection to what they're actually doing, then they're spoiling it.
Do you and would you teach kids capoeira so that, like, you know, at some point, you know, you're gonna get older and who takes the reins?
I've taught kids for. There's not probably a student or person in Long Branch that doesn't know what we've done in the school systems. I've done in Long Branch, I've done in Asbury, I've done in Neptune, I've done in different places, in colleges, you know, not just in Monmouth University, but Brookdale. I do teen arts every year in March. The other day we had one of the preschools come in for a field trip to learn capoeira. You know, so it was like 32 kids, and we did.
Oh, no way!
You know,
how old were these kids?
They had to be like they're 3, 4, 5 years old. You know.
Oh, they must have loved it.
They loved it. They
probably saw those instruments and just went crazy.
Yeah, they did some movements and stuff that I'd say. But yeah, I've been in the community for a long time. You know, and there's not a person who doesn't know about capoeira that doesn't know me. You know.
Beautiful.
So when I started capoeira, people followed me until this point, and you know, I thank the community for helping me and putting me in, you know, in touch with everybody, and you know, to this day, I've changed myself. You know, I'm American, but people think I'm Brazilian because I've embedded myself in this culture, and I love it so much, and I know that this will benefit people along the way, and especially where I grew up in Asbury, to know that where I came from is not where you need to stay. You know, you don't have to have that same mindset that, you know, like, I have to be into drugs, I have to be in a gang, I have to be into this. I avoided all of that through the martial arts and through capoeira, being to give back to the community, to be able to tell these guys, you don't have to settle for what people say. You know, you move to the next level because you have to, you want to, you want to be better in life, not just fit into the box that people expect you to be in. You know?
It's very deep.
Yes.
And it's beautiful, and it's awesome. It's very passionate, and I could see it, and I can hear it, and I can feel it. I can feel the energy in this room. It's vibrant, and it's good stuff. So I'm gonna help you do that.
Thank you.
I'm going to help you spread the word.
Thank you.
It's popular in Long Branch and Asbury and Neptune, but let's spread it. Let's get it more popular. And I always say this, and I'm going to say it again. A lot of times it comes down to the teacher. If you have the passion and you have that positive energy, that's what's going to drive everything. So it's going to start with you. So when people see this podcast, when they hear this podcast, when they look at your videos, which I will put up there, and they see how you move and they see the smile on your face, that's going to inspire them to want to get into capoeira. That's going to inspire them to want to go to your studio. So I'm going to give you credit because it really comes from you. The art is beautiful. There's no question. I just did some of it, and it's some of the coolest looking instruments I've ever seen. I'm looking at them. They're distracting me right now. The cartwheels, it makes you feel like a kid again. It's all awesome stuff. But, you brought it to the table with your energy. And you brought it out in me. And that's what we're going to do is we're going to bring it out in everyone else.
Thank you.
So it starts with you. Thank you for coming on the show. I learned a lot.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. This is such a pleasure to be here and to learn about, new things, and connect to a new friend.
Absolutely. And it's not the end because I will see you in your studio.
Thank you. I'll be waiting for you.
Okay. I'll come in and you can teach me a little bit more.
Yes.
If I'm invited, I'll be very respectful, and I would like to learn about everything about the culture, and
the door is open.
And then I'll challenge you to a fight. No, I'm just kidding. So that's a wrap. As always, adios amigos. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.